Jai Sri Ram, friends. Welcome to Bharat Marg. Welcome, Vinay ji. Thank you for joining us and appreciate you joining us. And friends, today it's going to be a very interesting discussion. Justin Trudeau exposed Canadian PM pants on fire. Okay, and we will discuss about it and what's happening, how the visa issues are panning out, and how they are trying to showcase what is not. Okay, that's what we will be as if it is, and that's what we will be discussing with Vinay ji. And before getting started, friends, please make sure to like the video, comment on the video, share the video with as many people as you can, because with your help only we can reach out to the people and spread the truth. And we need your support, folks, and you can support us in multiple ways. Here is our WhatsApp number, +16479644790. You can donate us, contact us to donate, and also to get our one dharmic message every day. Okay, Vinay ji, welcome. Okay,
Thank you.
see, I'll just give you the brief of the question so you can just get started. Justin Trudeau exposed Canadian PM pants on fire. Now let's see here. I'll show you the current news, which you are pretty much aware, and I'm just showing it for the benefit of the people. Canada rift shows India's might. Okay, this is what we are talking about. And Canada to cap the international student permit and housing crunch. Okay, this is the news. And if you see here, it says 2 year cap on new international student visa housing, 35% reduction in the new student visa this year. This reassessment permit is issued till 2025. Federal government will also require international student applying for permit to provide attention, attestation letter from the province or territory. Okay, this is the news. But let's go behind it and see. Okay, India is one of the major supplier of the student visa. We have done lots of video on it, and how the Canadian politicians are doing scam by cheating the unqualified Indian students to come to Canada, and what work they are doing. We have done a lot of things, friends. If you want to know those things, you have Canadian politics. You can go and check in our playlist: Canadian politics, Canadian immigration, and Vinay G talks. Okay, all the playlist you will able to see. Being the largest supplier of the student visa, India's the students coming from India has dropped by 86%, massive drop in number of study permits. The Canada issued to Indian students due to the diplomatic row, means application itself has come down by 86%. The Canada is no more the preferred location of the Indian students. Okay, that's what the news says, 86% reduction. And now, the people are upset with Justin Trudeau that he is bringing in some of the refugees from everywhere and putting it here and changing the demography. And now he is saying, no, wait a minute. People who are studying here, who are already not coming, I'm going to reduce their quota. But please explain us, Vinayji. Forum is yours. Jai Sri Ram. Welcome.
Jai Sri Ram ji. So basically, what's happening is in 2023, okay, about I would say 35%. So about more than about 800,000 students were coming in every year. Okay. So basically, I would say 700,000, somewhere in that range. Okay. So I'm not going to go into the exact math, but what the federal government has said is, because the Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Minister, Honorable Mark Miller of Canada, Canadian government, has said that due to the housing crisis, mainly, okay, Please mark my words. Housing
Mhm.
crisis, and other things as well. I'll just get into that in a bit.
Mhm.
So the Canadian government has decided for 2024 and for the next 2 years, they're going to put a cap on the number of international students coming into Canada. Okay, so they're going to reduce the whatever the intake was in 2023. So that is going to reduce by 35%.
Absolutely. Vinay, before you go further, I just want to show a couple of pictures, okay? That can put everything in perspective for you to take on, okay? So this is the thing. Student visa, the reduction in the student visa could wreak financial havoc on the Ontario University College officials. You find empty, a view of empty college classroom in Ontario, okay? Empty college. And what are they reducing? It's not the college alone. See here, this is Toronto University. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Okay. An empty classroom at the University of Toronto is pictured. Okay. So this is empty. This is what they are saying. They're reducing. Where the students are not there, they are saying they're reducing. See here, this is an important thing, Vinay.
Yeah.
Yeah, reckless, a little bit reckless. College president says David Warzarty, the president of Salt College, which has location in Toronto, Brampton, and other places, said cap is going to be devastating for colleges. Foreign students now outnumber Canadian at 10% of Ontario 24 public. Means he is saying, they are going to go bankrupt pretty much. You
So
see here,
basically, yeah.
this is empty college and the universities, and
No, no,
what are they
100%.
reducing now?
So basically, what's happening is I'm just going to give you some statistics so that people understand, the viewers. So the Canadian economy, is highly dependent on the education. Okay, because education, the college fees, and associated costs, all those is adds up to about $36 billion with a B every year. Okay, and if you understand, the out of the $36 billion, a very large portion, okay, a very large portion is actually attributed to international students. Okay, now because keep in mind, the reason international students are a highly high demand commodity, I should say high demand commodity, is because their fee is almost 4 to 5 times of a local domestic student. Okay, so if let's say domestic student pays about $6,000 a year for a college education, right? The international student is almost paying $20,000 to $30,000 in fees. So they're making a killing out of the international students. Okay, now that's number one. Number two, out of the international students, 46% of the international students coming into Canada are from India. Okay, now as a background, what happened last year. Viewers know, with the the rift between the Canadian and Indian governments, Canada falsely accusing India of killing some dreaded terrorist here, and he had his own rivalries and all that, but they just pointed the finger straight to the Indian government, right? So that was number one. Number two, you also have to keep in mind that the Indian government, in retaliation, actually asked the Canadian government to reduce their the consulate staff in India. So they had to drop it by 2/3 to a third of what they had. So from around 60, 63 or something down to 21. Okay. So now that reduced also, they also had to shut down consulates. So they only have one consulate that's open, which is the New Delhi consulate. So they're highly strapped for time to process visas from India. Now, as a result, a lot of colleges that are 100% international and 100% Indian international students, these colleges are hurt really bad. So I'm going to just go to the last quarter of
Vinayji, we covered this also in your the thing, that is India had the internal information. Many consulates were not only involved, Canadian consulates not only were involved in the internal matters of Bharat, but also there was a heavy drug trafficking, and human trafficking was suspected. See which consulate they closed. This is they are talking about, I'm getting comment on your videos as if they are, oh, Canada is punishing the Punjabi students. What these guys don't know is India forced Canada to close the consulate in Punjab because of the above given information.
No, you're
Please.
right, because a lot of these people who are coming from Punjab, especially Punjab, state of Punjab in India, they used to come here because they had relatives, friends who had already come here, and they come here and then they kind of take on a job because the government allowed 40 hours per week, in terms of job. Now their focus was on working here and eventually bringing their siblings, parents, or whoever from India back, to Canada, and their focus was definitely not on the studies, right? So there was a lot of devious things that was going on in the system. So now coming back, I was just telling you, last quarter of 2023, the student students, international students coming from India, right, reduced drastically. Okay, just compare it to the 2022 last quarter, 104,000 students came. Okay, but last quarter of 2023, 14,000 students came, a huge reduction of 86%. Okay, so the this is the funny part, right? Ironically, the student population, international student population, has already reduced. Okay, I'm not saying from all the countries, but mainly from India. But as a follow-up to what India has done, some of the other countries also said, oh my God, this is what is going on in Canada. Maybe we should also stop sending students to Canada. So some of the other countries also started doing that. So there was a significant hit already for the Canadian universities. And I'm going to quote a few things here. Number one, the Canadian
And one of such country is Israel, because of the anti-Semitism very much encouraged in Canada.
Right. No, I'm just going to bring the university education or the post-secondary education into three categories. Number one is universities. Number two are colleges that are recognized, like the big colleges like Humber College, Centennial College, Conestoga, and so on and so forth, right? And then the third one are the private small colleges that run out of literally malls. They don't have their own campuses. They're running out of somebody's basement or somebody's, in a commercial building. They're taking 2 or 3 rooms on rent, and they're running classes, and they call themselves colleges. So the number 3 category is almost 100% dependent on international students, mainly from India, because especially in Brampton, if you see, most of these colleges are run by Indians or of people of Indian origin, and they are basically running
And they are
100%.
just like you exactly said, they are located just next to the commodity stores anyway.
Exactly. So number 2 are the second tier, are the colleges, the bigger colleges, Humbers, Conestogas, and Senecas, and those ones, Centennials. So these ones have a significant amount of international students, and again, Indian students are pretty in big number over there. And because of what has happened in the last year, housing crisis, inflation, groceries, health costs, and blah blah blah, all that, the people coming in have significantly reduced. And the last one, universities, you wouldn't even believe it, that even universities, you're just showing a picture of University of Toronto, which is showing an empty classroom here. So these kind of universities have also been affected because they also are dependent on international students. And I'll give you a quick example. Just look up National Post 6 days ago, an article on Queen's University shutting down potentially. Okay, and they have mismanaged funds, and because of lack of international students coming in, they are potentially going bankrupt. I hope they don't, because it's a huge university and one of the oldest universities in Canada. But I'm just saying that there's already a threat to this. Okay, now added to this crisis, okay, now it's like the oil is already burning. Okay, to that you take some heap of red chilies, right, and put that into that oil. What's going to happen? It's going to make it even worse. Okay, so that's exactly what the Canadian government is doing. They're saying that due to the health crisis, due to the housing crisis and other services that international students are misusing and abusing, we have no choice but to reduce the intake of international students.
And it is incredible. It's incredible, Vinayji, that the Canadian sitting prime minister thinks bringing students here from internationally who want to study and work in Canada is bad thing. But bringing the unqualified, many of them are, of course, they know nobody checks. Refugees are fine for the economy.
Exactly, and already we saw one of the colleges, Sault Murray, right? Sioux College. The president of the college was already kind of making a comment, but I'm pretty sure a lot of these colleges are unfortunately funded by the government, and they have some liberal links. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure. And those people are internalizing this because they can't openly say, "Oh my God, this government just messed up," right? So this is the unfortunate part, that the Canadian Prime Minister has no clue and no idea about. But unfortunately, his regime has become like a Tughlaq. In India they call it Tughlaq regime, right? Where the guy, there was a king by name Muhammad bin Tughlaq, who used to change his capital every 3 months because he just didn't like the weather, or he just didn't like it. So that's pretty much what's happening with Mr. Trudeau. He kind of comes up with all these policies. I'm not sure who is giving him the advice, or what's going on there. But this is the unfortunate part. Without understanding the implications, the repercussions of these policies, these new policies, the government is just introducing these policies. It's unfortunate.
Vinayji, I have a quick thing. Okay, what is the motive behind? Let's cap it off this one. Okay, the last word. What is the motive behind already reduction? Okay, India, as you said, Indian students are 40% of the students coming in. Okay, to Canada, and that number has fallen down because of Modi's action on Canada by 86%. And now what is are they trying to kind of cheat people, or trying to act smart by saying we are reducing it 35%, so that when the people see the empty classroom they won't know this is because of the stupidity of the Canadian government that had bad foreign policy with India, or you think terror sympathizing policy, or and to hide that and showcase as if, you know what, no, because we have the housing crisis, we made these empty classrooms so that refugees can sleep here in the daytime too.
No, it's difficult to speculate what the intention of the government is, but I can only say it from my point of view. My feeling is that it's basically the government has already seen reduction in international students coming in. Okay, and like you said, the classrooms are already empty, and many of these colleges are kind of already upset about the government's previous year's stance, like in 2023, what happened with India and many other countries, right? So rather than these colleges or universities pointing to the fact that in 2023 the policies of the government are what affected the international student or reduction in international students coming in, they want to turn the whole narrative to kind of saying that, oh, it's because the government of Canada has decided that they have to reduce the intake of international students because of the housing crisis, because of healthcare, because of the inflation. Yeah, we understand, but unfortunately we cannot bring in so many students because it's hurting the Canadian housing market. The inflation is going up because of these international students coming in huge numbers and buying the grocery stores or emptying the grocery stores, and which is why the demand is more than supply, and that's why it's creating a lot of agony and whatever. So it's kind of, I think they're twisting the narrative because they're not focused on what the harm that they actually did in 2023 by spoiling the diplomatic relationship with India and several other countries.
Absolutely. Friends, what do you think? Let us know. Do you agree with Vinayji's thought? And my closing comments, I believe it's already people in Canada are struggling. They are not able to pay mortgage. Now they won't even get renters. Yeah, is my thought on it. But, yeah, stupidity, what do you call people do to hide their stupidity? That's what I believe. What do you think? Do comment and let us know. And thank you, Vinayji, for joining us. And next show is exciting, folks. Stay connected. Next show in few minutes we will get started, and that is major news coming up with the Vinayji again. Thank you, Vinayji, and looking forward to seeing you again. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Jai Sri Ram.